What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Gotta Get Back, Samurai Jack and Review Show, guys. My name is Kyle, your host. Welcome to Project Potter. If you haven't seen the show before, guys, we're reviewing every episode of Samurai Jack. This is episode 21 of season 2, and we are doing a recap, a favorite character, a favorite scene, a score, a trivia. So yeah, getting right into it here, guys. As we do, we started the episode off with Jack looking for food or fishing as he does in the wilderness here, and he takes his sword and it makes a nice quick spear out of it, and the first couple fish get away, and then he notices that the fish start to show up dead as they're swimming by, and he's like, well, that's weird. And then this deer is running by. It stops for a second, then it starts running, and there's a whole bunch of animals that are running, and they're all running from this like black smoke, this black smell. And immediately I'm thinking like, okay, Aku's at it again, dude. But Jack kind of makes his way. It smells terrible. He's like, wow, I can't believe this. He's covering his face. He goes over. There's like someone who is like, looks like a zombie. He's like dying, or so we think. And Jack is like, oh, you poor fortunate creature. And he's like, hey, I might be unfortunate, but I am not poor. He's like, you see this necklace? And he's like, you're alive. He's like, of course I'm alive. He's like, I just can't stand the smell or whatever. And he tells him like, oh, it's coming from there. And Jack's like, what is the smell coming from? And he's like, it's coming from. And he's like choking on the smell. So Jack finds this little village. Everyone in the town is just like dying of that smell. There's like this gray smoke that's pouring over everyone. Jack eventually covers his mouth, but it still smells terrible. No one can function basically. He finds like an innkeep or like a meat hoarder or something. She's like a butcher, I think. And he's like, how come you're not affected? And he sees her nose is like all stitched up. She doesn't have a nose basically. But she does have a bird, and it's like this hideous woman. And she's talking about, oh, I know the smell. It's coming from the dragon. And he's like, there's a dragon? And she's like, there's no dragon. And the bird's like, there's a dragon. And eventually it's like up on the keep or the pass or whatever. And I don't know why she doesn't want to tell people about this. I think because she doesn't like the rest of the townsfolk or whatever, so she wants to just live in peace. I don't know. But basically she's like, hey, I'll give you this meat. You can put it on your face to cover your mouth so you can get up there. It's really weird. So he starts scaling like the mountain or the pass here. He gets pretty far up there. There's like a huge like butterfly type of creature. I don't know. It's like a huge moth butterfly combination, and it starts taking him up there, and then he puts the meat on his face, but it smells so bad that he's like really suffering. He's like trying to hold on, and it brings him up there to like the entrance to a cave. He goes in the cave, and it turns out that there's a dragon in here, which is see if I remember how to do this guy back here. Nice. And he's like, oh, I'm in so much pain, please help me. And Jack is like, you can speak? He's like, of course I can speak. And it turns out that he's just farting on the town. He's just basically having diarrhea onto the town, which is like, okay. And so he's like, hey, there's something inside me that's causing the issue. You have to go inside me and figure it out. And Jack is like, oh, God, how did I get into this mess? But Jack has to help everyone. So he goes in there. He's like, all right, I'll do it. And the rest of the episode, he's like literally just going down farther and farther into the dragon. Some of the visuals are cool, but he's going through like the different cells. There's like a little hummingbird type thing in there that he's like swinging at. It keeps multiplying, so that was kind of strange. Some of it looks like the inside of a cave because the dragon is huge. So the art design I think was cool, but I didn't find myself very interested in this episode, honestly. So Jack, keeps going. He goes down. He's like, go down to the coal, and he's really got to get in there. This is like Lemmy Links 2.0, dude. So he's going down in there. He fashions like a helmet basically, because he takes like a squid or something and like puts it around his face. I don't know. It's weird. It's very creative. It's just not for me. I respect the design team. But eventually he gets down there and he finds out that there's a baby dragon that's just lighting up like this dragon's stomach or whatever. So he cuts him free, which doesn't pain the dragon at all. And then like the dragon farts, and then he uses the baby dragon's fire to like rocket himself out of there. The dragon's like, thank you. He goes down to the village, and then it turns out that baby dragon is just an asshole because he just lights everyone on fire. So like he just burns everyone. And Jack's like, oh, they're like, oh, thank you so much. Like now it doesn't smell down here. Now we just got to put out the fires. And that's just the end of the episode. So nothing is really solved, but that's what it is. Okay, guys, for the magic sword, I mean, I guess it goes to Jack by default for this one. I mean, he saves the town kind of, but he doesn't really because he stops one problem, but then another problem happens. So he helps the dragon, but now instead of everyone smelling terrible, now everything's on fire, which probably does more damage. So I don't know. If anything, he might have regressed the town. But yeah, Jack, I guess by default kind of helps the dragon. So, but this one, yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to say about this one, to be honest. So he gets the magic sword, I guess, by default. So Portal in Time for this one, I mean, there wasn't much to choose from, honestly. I don't know. I guess there is a couple scenes within the dragon that were creative. So like I said, I guess the part where Jack puts like the squid or whatever over his face to put like a helmet on basically, and then go through into the colon. That was cool. I guess that'll be my Portal in Time because they took some creative liberties inside the dragon. So I'm sure the artistic team had a fun time doing this. But again, it just wasn't my episode. So, but that will be my Portal in Time for this week. Okay, guys, for a score, if you couldn't tell already by my my lack of enthusiasm for this one, I'm not trying to be too negative on it, but this is my least favorite episode of the season and possibly of the series. I just don't really, I didn't care for any of it. It didn't have any overall impact on the larger scale. It wasn't like, freeing. I know Jack does a lot of like freeing people from Aku. This one had nothing to do with Aku. It really was just like, it shows that Jack will go out of his way to help people whenever they are in need. So it continues to build a Jack's legend. But overall, in terms of like a viewer, it's a 6-1. I mean, it's just not very good. It's like potty humor, which works for other shows, but doesn't work for this show. And I don't know. This is like a weird throwaway episode. I don't think this one should have ever made it, but I guess they had fun with it, but I didn't really have a good time watching it, to be honest. This was the first one where I was like, all right, got to review this one, I guess. But that's part of the series, guys. We're going through each and every one, but yeah, 6-1 is the highest possible score I will give this one because I just did not enjoy this. Okay, guys, for Jack Facts this week, we have one. It's kind of a lengthy one. Well, not really lengthy, but so the Scissorsmith, which is like the hideous woman that Jack talked to, she references 2 Laserdisc arcade games actually that are produced by Don Bluth Studios. So when she gives Jack directions, she says, you want to go to Dragon's Lair, which is a famous game. And then she says, the other path of the fork will take you to Space Ace. I did not play either of those games. I know Dragon's Lair is a famous game. Space Ace, I don't know what that is, but I'm sure it's, as they say, a Laserdisc arcade game. What's interesting about this is that, the scene is actually rewritten in other languages. So this is only for like an American reference only, basically. So it says the French version has a Scissorsmith telling him to stop at the rocky path and that Jack should open his parachute if he goes down by it. And meanwhile, the Brazilian version, she actually just says that she doesn't know where the other path leads. So it's weird that it was translated like that. But this is apparently like an ode to American arcade game. So that's cool. But that is our one sort of Jack fact for the week. Okay, guys, that's another episode. I got to get back. Again, sorry if I wasn't crazy about this one. This one was kind of a drag, and the show goes on, and I try to do my best to make it entertaining for you guys. But I wasn't like naturally crazy about this one, so I'm not going to have as much to talk about or be as enthusiastic about the show where I am for some of the greater episodes where I could like talk about it for days. So. But yeah, either way, guys, thank you so much for checking out Project Potter. Thanks for checking out Got to Get Back. Go check out the other episodes, guys, the other content on the channel. Like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell notification. And until next time, guys, got to get back.